Just got back from the airport. I just dropped off a very large box, shipping it to Slovakia from Martin the Vlogger. If y'all know anything about that guy, or even if you haven't, you need to check him out. He's got a YouTube channel, Martin the Vlogger. He rides the hell out of his spotter. It's pretty fun stuff to watch. He shows you some beautiful country too, and he shows you all kinds of stuff. And he's got a bunch of stuff coming in the future, some interesting stuff. So take a look at it. I'm fixing to start welding on the Stealth series. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on with this. Welding this muffler to the canister on the end, which creates the tone. Nice. Okay, that's a circumference weld around the Stealth muffler connecting to the tip here. See if you can see that. Not that easy to see it. Doesn't look bad. Not bad at all. That's one. Today I'm throwing these exhausts into the jig, lining everything up, putting a tack weld on it, taking it out of the jig, moving it over to the floor, moving the next pipe into the jig. These are all Ryker exhausts. I'm going through basically the whole lineup today. I've got a lot of exhausts to weld. I'm just tack welding them in position. This is what I call a position weld. I put it in the jig, find its position, put a little weld on it to where it's not going to move. Take it out of the jig, set it to the floor. Then I'll move it from the floor to the actual vise and do a full circumference weld around the rest of the exhaust. This is how I go through the production process. I cut the pieces, lay the pieces out. First I welded the canister to the muffler, then I welded the mid pipe to the muffler, and then I finish the weld. Then I go to the bracket system, and then the hooks last. Today I'm going to build a couple Ryker exhausts, and I'm using this jig. I use the same jig for all my Ryker exhausts, because it basically simulates the lines of the bike on this side over here, and this actually simulates exactly where the factory muffler is. And that gives me a reference to the tire and how much room I have away from it and everything, all built into this one jig. You can see here I've already created my mid pipe. I've got both ends flared like I want them, and I have a baffle built in. Oh, you can't see that. You can't get any light through there. Okay, well there's a baffle built inside there, if you can see it or not. put this mid pipe into the jig and I match it up to that factory gasket. I clamp it in place where it'll, I use my finger as a little spacer here because that's the perfect spacer is my finger, of course. One finger's width. And then I move to the next step, which is the muffler body, which I've already welded together. Use my finger, like I said, to make sure that I have the right spacing. Come on down a little bit there. Oh, back up, right there. After you put your exhaust in your jig that you made, you want to check it everything and make sure that it's straight and lands just like you want it to land. And of course it does. The next thing you're going to want to do is put a tack right here. Now, what I do, the way I do this is, I do it in stages, and all these I do them in stages. See, I'm going to put a tack weld right here, a good little start of a weld, and then I'm going to take this out of the jig and set it to the floor. And then I'll move it back to my vise and weld up the circumference of the weld. That just, it's more efficient for me to put a bunch of them in the jig, one right after another, finding their location where they need to be welded to, weld them, then just a little bit, take them out, because you can't weld it in this jig. It's too confined and too, you know. So I find the location, then I move it on over here to the floor, and then I'll come back and weld each one to circumference. Once I weld the mid pipe to the muffler body, then I'm going to work out the whole bracket system, and that's a whole different part of the exhaust build. Tuned up, ready to go. I'm just going to put, like I said, a little tack weld right here just to mark its place. So all I did was I just put a little weld across the top there. And see, it's not going to move. Now that it's got that much welded, it's not going to go anywhere. So at that point, I take it out of the jig and I put another one in, and we move on. You know, doing this like an assembly line. You know, of course, you don't want to let it, you know, just fall out of there. Of course, you want it to come out of there easy and smooth. Transfer it over here to the floor. Next mid pipe goes in. Got to alter that mid pipe as well. Make sure it doesn't fit good. Okay, moving on to the next one. It just rotated on it. Oh yeah. Beautimus. Okay. Not a lot to say. Guys, we're so close to this giveaway. I'm talking about just a few more subscribers and we're doing this thing. Not real talkative. Forgot I was making a video, to be honest with you. Normally I can't shut up. If you ever meet me in real life, you'll be like, dude, will you please let me speak? I even know that I got this problem, guys. I just don't even know how to stop it. I'm very hyperactive. If I don't say what's on my mind, I forget. Very bad problem. If I ever interrupt you, I'm sorry. It's a problem I have. Look at, you know, and hey, I'll be the first to tell you I make mistakes. And I don't mind you calling on me to let me know. You know, I'll do what I can to make it right. I always do. That's kind of how I do business, right? What I'm doing right now, mixing paint, painting these exhausts, and then road trip you guys are going to take with me. We're going to take a little woo around the road over here, and
Thank you.